guys, what is actually happening? Our timeline is insane right now. You know, had a nice day with friends yesterday, just woke up and the world is upside down again. Donald Trump owns being shot again, and it is just insane. UAP disclosure seems to be on the verge, aliens.gov. We are waiting every minute, could happen, the drop could come very, very soon, you know. It is insane. And we have a lot of information already on the happening regarding to Donald Trump and a lot of oddities as well. So I gathered them for you and I thought we're gonna have a dive into them, see what is going on, what could be going on behind the scenes. So it's gonna be a mix of everything, so get yourself ready. It is very, very interesting and it's gonna get very, very trippy. So get yourself ready and we're gonna hop into the video right after the intro, guys. Let's go.
Describing an underwater UFO as large as a football field, moving at hundreds of miles per hour underwater.
Have you met with people with direct knowledge or have direct knowledge yourself of non-human origin craft?
Yes, I personally interviewed those individuals.
Do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
Biologics came with some of these recoveries, yeah.
Aliens exist and President Trump knows about it.
The United States and Israel have been in contact with a group of aliens for years.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology.
We are not all to be traced back to one blob of germplasm.
And the implant is finally removed.
There's no evidence how the object got inside the body.
Can you comment on the drones?
Our military knows where they took off from. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people.
What storm, Mr. President?
You'll find out.
And so before we're gonna hop into the video, if you're new here to the channel, I would appreciate it a lot, man, if you hit the subscribe button, click the like button, say hello, and join the family, man. We're gonna look for the truth. I am Jody, so welcome to my channel, Enigma. I'm very, very happy to see you. So let's jump into the video. Let's go. And the first thing we're gonna start to look at is basically the video of Caroline Leavitt, the spokesperson of the White House, right? Let's just have a listen to what she has to tell us.
Ready to rumble, is he not?
He is ready to rumble. I will tell you, this speech tonight will be classic Donald J. Trump. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room. So everyone should tune in. It's going to be really great. I'm looking forward to hearing it.
I love it all. And you wrote most of it, you said.
I can't take credit. In true Donald Trump fashion, the man puts his pen to the paper himself. So it's a lot of his own work.
Okay, guys. I just had to laugh very, very much because of that guy just cracking up like, ah, ha, ha. You know, so I'm sorry. The stuff like this gets me all the time, but especially at the part that now is kind of, you know, wordplay, you could say, kind of irony involved.
Some shots fired tonight in the room. So
dude, this guy cracking up, man. Anyways, not saying that I do think that this is on purpose, you know, showing us what is going to happen in 5 minutes or something like this. It is kind of like an ironic thing to happen, you know, having her saying this and then, well, basically having shots fired at the event. So this is where people start to get very conspirational already. And I have to tell you right at the beginning that I do catch myself quite often lately, which I find very, very good. Like, already, you know, seeing something happening and trying to sensationalize this whole thing, like, oh, maybe this means something, maybe this is on purpose. I mean, I know we are living in a world where a lot of stuff is not happening, like, in a way you can say nothing happens randomly, right? But not behind everything there's like this huge conspirational thing going on. So we have to be very, very, very careful if we want to push something into a certain direction just because it would make like this crazy story. And this is happening everywhere in the media, but especially also on X and the alternative space. It is happening a lot. It's about clicks. It's about, you know, in the impressions. It's about having basically everything as always. It's about fame. So we have to be very careful and always question things. The next thing we're going to look at is just the video itself, which is just showing what most people basically saw during the broadcast of the congressional dinner. So let's take a look. So in case you missed it, this is where the shots were being fired in the background. You can kind of hear it. So this is what we got so far in terms of this video from Russell Brand. Thank you for the video, Russell Brand. Me personally, I haven't been to any situation like this, luckily. Our president, or not our, but actually the American president, though, has been there twice now. I mean, I gotta say, to me personally, the way you see people acting doesn't seem to be like, they are not that scared for some reason. They're just sitting there. It's kind of like you hear those shots being fired and then everybody's like, what is this? Oh, do we really have to get down? Okay, so let's go down. You know, it's just it's not like it's like panic and, you know, so you see people jumping under the table and stuff like that, which I would think would happen if that would be the case. At least I'm not used to guns. Maybe it's different if you grow up in the US, man, because then you're probably used to weapons and stuff. So, but I'm from Germany, so I gotta run like hell, bro. I'm out of here. But anyways, so this is the video we have. Then this is another video showing us basically footage of a camera in one of the rooms. And I can just tell you, my boy is being fast. Now, did you see him? Dude, it's just like A-Train. Our boy's like A-Train. Coming in out of nowhere, just like something you could come up question yourself is like, how did this guy get in there with a weapon, with material, with bullets? And, you know, it's like, isn't there any kind of security check who gets in there if you know that the American president is talking there right now where we have wars going on? It's not like the chillest area we are living in right now. So there are a lot of enemies regarding to the American president that would like to see him dead, probably. So I would guess that there's a lot of security for that reason, right? And so with that, we're coming to our boy Cole Allen. And now this is starting to get a little bit trippy, and we're gonna open up a couple of different topics right here. Here we can see Cole Allen, and our boy Cole Allen he's been into quite some stuff, man. So we can see here in 2014 he was working as like a summer undergraduate research fellowship student for the NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory, which is very, very interesting because, I mean, at the moment we have so many scientists coming out of this area where a lot of weird stuff is going on. So it is interesting to see all of those different, you know, directions. It's kind of the same thing where we see people coming from at the moment. But anyways, then when our boy had like a little gap and then started to work at the mechanical engineering intern fluid synchrony for Caltech. I mean, I have no idea about all those companies, but also the one above, the IGK Controls as a mechanical engineer, are supposedly very, very lead and, you know, very competitive places you want to work at. So it's not that easy to get in there. So they're usually looking for people which are very intelligent and are not just some kind of scientist or engineer, you know, not the average one, but actually people that know something and have skills in what they're doing. Then he was working as a software developer at SUCAM Intelligent Education System, and I was a teacher in C2 education. Well, not anymore. At least he used to be a teacher, to the point where my boy was running in to try to shoot the American president. So this is all very, very, very interesting, as I find, because those are very, I mean, it's not that unusual to work at different places, but those are not, he's not just working at Walmart on this place and then at Walmart in another city, right? So it is an interesting career, especially having also these 2 years where something is missing and people don't really know what he was doing there. And this is an interesting post I came across from Eric Schwalm, which is basically just, you know, putting some perspective into the realistic, you know, surrounding this whole happenings. So I'm just gonna go into it and give it a read. So let's unpack a few things right up front. He left California and was in DC at the hotel where the White House Correspondents Dinner was being held. Imagine the intent he had to have in order to travel that distance, all the while thinking about what he was going to do. He either moved several weapons or procured them in around DC and figured out a way to get them in proximity to the Correspondents' Dinner. He took the time to load the weapons onto his body, to reportedly include several knives, and nobody noticed. Now here's the kicker. In his hidden location, he was somehow aware that the president was in the room and was seated. How? When was he aware of that part? Like, if he wasn't a guest at the Correspondents' Dinner and he couldn't see the president from where he was, how did he know? It's not like he could go look into the room and then go load up with his gear, right? So he was supposedly a guest at the exact hotel. Like, every room in that place wasn't booked full over a month in advance? In DC, on a Saturday with the Correspondents' Dinner, in the same hotel. Have you ever booked a hotel in DC during a major presidential event? Good luck. All of it screams that he had help from someone in DC, someone with some serious knowledge and capabilities. You just don't pull off something like that on a whim with some serious reconnaissance ahead of time. So I'm sorry if I misspelled anything there. It's some words, man, I'm not used to read that much. But this is very interesting because we can see there's a lot of stuff that makes this whole thing, you know, a bit questionable in terms of how did he, was being able to pull off this thing with all the things that our boy Eric was mentioning now. It is very interesting to think about all those small things. And here we're coming to videos that make this whole happening very, very suspicious very fast. Here we have a clip from Fox News where a woman, well, basically saying stuff that maybe she wasn't supposed to say, and all of a sudden the connection is gone. So let's take a look.
I want to just quickly tell you, I was sitting next to Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary's husband. He was one of our guests. He was seated right next to me. And, right as the dinner was starting, the national anthem happened. And then he kind of leaned over and said, I watched you on TV. You do a great job. You need to be very safe. And he was very serious when he said that to me. And he kind of looked around the room and he said, there are some...
Sounds like we lost Aisha's phone there. And this happens, by the way, especially when you have so many people attempting to utilize the same cell service at the same time. I did want to add this while we had a moment. I was just...
Yeah, it's probably because we have so many people trying to call. Oh my God. It is, dude, the feeling I'm getting when I hear stuff like that. Oh my God, we lost her. She's just gone. We don't know what happened, right? Oh my goodness. She was probably on the verge of telling something very, very sus. Someone telling her you need to be careful because someone crazy is in here. Maybe? We don't know. But this is weird. This is weird. As are the other things. So here we have a clip. Well, he's saying the ethical American that this is 1000% staged. But there are things that are just weird. Decide for yourself.
Where's it coming from? Where's it coming from? Downstairs, left, downstairs. Where? Where's it coming from? Over there. Where's it coming from? Where's the crossfire? Look out!
Bro, somebody go.
We got one down. In there. Jim! Hey,
What the Oh my God.
Stay down, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, stay down. Where's that at? Inside, you're not inside. Nobody comes in here.
It's a tough time to be the American president right now, right? It's ridiculous. As I said, man, I haven't been in any situation like this. I wish I would be like a military guy at this point, so I can't wait for all the analysis for a video like this in terms of how they behave. Is this real? Does it seem to be legit? I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just gonna leave it there. You decide whatever you want to make of it. I just thought it is interesting to see it. So another very interesting thing is that here we have Deborah Leah, and she's basically talking about that there was almost no security at the dinner, which is kind of weird if you ask me. So let's have a listen to what she has to tell us.
How did somebody get a gun into the White House Correspondents Dinner? Honestly, as somebody who went, there was no security. You just showed your ticket and you were able to completely get in. There was just no pat downs, no metal detectors, nothing going on. So really horrible setup, and I just don't even understand how that was a thing when the United States president was going to speak, who has already had assassination attempts on his life. So really crazy.
Yeah, it is very crazy. Again, I mean, I kind of love to be conspirational, right? We all love it. But I do feel like she doesn't give me the vibe of that she just witnessed this crazy thing that just happened. She's very chill, man. She's just like, it kind of gives me the feeling of she's just saying something that she should say. Like, kind of she knew that she's going to say it, so she's not very, there's no feeling of any adrenaline in her voice, which is just interesting. Just saying this, I find that very interesting. What is really funny though, I gotta say, is our Viking from Valhalla, Kash Patel, my boy Kash. And he's just sitting there while this whole thing is happening, and she's just sitting there as if he doesn't really know the script, and he's just like, when will there be food? It's like, just give it a watch, guys. You see him, just like. I mean, you're basically the director of the FBI, and you're just like, what's going on? Completely lost in space. Just wanted to show you that one. So here it's gonna start where it gets trippy, because we have our boy Henry Martinez that is an X account from 3 years ago in 2023, and he has one tweet or one post on X which is saying Cole Allen. Nothing more, nothing less. And it is very, very interesting that the profile banner that he used on this profile is the exact same photo company called the Time Machine, used for an event back on May 5th, 2002. So it is just, especially for me, because I made a couple of videos about this whole topic, about time travel and time machines and whatever, it is always this time machine topic, time travel topic, talking about grace, talking about whatever. It's all of a sudden always connected to some time travel, propulsion, NASA scientists things. And this is what is so interesting to me, because it doesn't matter where you look, at the moment you come across this topic every single time. And this is just ridiculous, man. It's like, what is happening? And it could, of course, be random. But we have those weird happenings a lot of times on shootings, that we have a killer, and then somewhere you have this X account which is posting something weird already a couple, like maybe months, maybe years in advance before this thing happened. And again, maybe we all people are just over motivated at trying to find, clues and dots to connect, and maybe it's just random and we are interpreting too much into this whole thing, but maybe not. Maybe we are all onto something. And it's always good to ask questions and, and try to think for yourself, because nothing is impossible. So it's always worth a look into every direction there is. So, and what is very interesting is what I forgot to mention, is this Henry Martinez. It is a guy basically working for Lockheed Martin Space Systems, which is again a company that we hear many, many, many times regarding to many, many, many different topics, but especially in the aerospace, propulsion, UAP, whatever you want to call it, space. Lockheed Martin is like the big guy. So it is interesting that he was working there in 2014, which is the time where Cole Allen was also working there. Kind of a random happening, if you ask me. Well, that is a random thing to happen, if you ask me. So this is also one of those weird coincidences that is just happening for some reason. So here's again the website of the time machine. I'm gonna link the website in the description so you can take a look into this whole thing on your own, of course. People did start to try to decrypt this picture because they say they do see something inside of it. And people actually started to talk about that this here, that you can see maybe this structure is kind of the fist of Donald Trump from the photo where he was being shot, and the very, very famous photo they made when he got shot at the first time. So people try to, you know, and this is what I mean. They try to interpret, I feel like, too much into everything. So they say, yeah, this picture is a secret, decrypted information, so we have to decrypt this picture. And I do find it interesting, but you have to be careful with conclusions, you know? But I know, man, this whole topic can be very entertaining. And so the thing is, of course, what is happening right now is that people start to make connections to, well, let's say countries that have been involved in happenings, maybe in very recent happenings during the last years. And this is a picture supposedly of Cole Allen wearing an IDF hoodie. The question to me is, I don't find a real source for this photo. So I really don't think this is real. I don't know. There's no real source in terms of his private social media where that photo really is from. But we all know we're living in times of AI, man. So this could just be propaganda to tie him to something that he's actually not involved. So we got to be careful with this. And of course, it is very interesting as well to take a look into the Google Trends search for our name Cole Allen in Israel during the last 24 hours. And well, it is interesting to see that we are coming up with some results. Seeing, because where I live, as I said, it was during the night actually. Seeing in my time, there were some people searching for his name before it actually happened. What this means, I don't really know. It is interesting though, but I also hear that there can be quite some bugs going on with this whole statistic of this search result and when they happen. So we have to be careful with this. But yeah, I did find it interesting to see. Nevertheless, what is also very interesting, and I find that some people did not really talk about that, is that the guy that was talking to Melania and Donald Trump is actually an Israeli mentalist that is also being on Joe Rogan. Some people said that he kind of tried to show Joe Rogan, don't play around too much, man. I know everything. I know everything if I want to know everything. So you better don't feel too safe around here, right? We watch you. This is at least what some people claim that happened to Joe Rogan. And he's called Oz Perlman. And I'm gonna go into the guy Oz Perlman in a second, but I thought it is very interesting to take a look at the clip of Joe Rogan for a second. So let's go take a look.
You'll be honest if I'm right.
Okay.
I got a hit, which means it's a 0 or 1. I think the first number of your code's a 1, isn't it? Your real PIN code.
My ATM
PIN code.
Why would I tell you that on the air?
Should I only show this to you?
Sure.
Only show it to you?
Yeah.
Can we acquiesce that the first number I got was correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you did repetition. So yeah, I like the fact when people always say to me it's fake when they watch the videos, they're like, you must have set up. Joe doesn't even want this to happen right now. He had no idea this was going to happen. You used 2 numbers in repeats. What that means is you probably did the same thing. You also didn't use any of the same numbers. So I know there's not a 2, a 0, or a 2 in it. I don't think so either.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm watching you while I say it. You put the hand up. You might as well have said yes to me out loud. So now I know. Think of the second number,
okay.
Third number, fourth number.
Got
Every
it.
time you did it, it's a data point.
Okay.
I'm only going to ask you one more question. I'm not looking for answers. The last number is the biggest, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm showing this to you. Is there a camera behind me? I don't want to make sure.
No.
I'm only going to show it to you. It's not 2020. How'd I do, Joe? Is that your ATM PIN code?
Yeah. That's weird. I'm skeptical because I've got that PIN code in the mail. You know?
He's calling his bank right now and being like, Joe, do you know this? Has this guy been playing the long game?
Yeah, I don't like that.
Well, the question is who likes that? And as I said, it is interesting to see where our boy Oz Perlman is actually coming from. So I'll give you a quick introduction to this guy. So this man is Oz Perlman. This is what Richard Willett has to tell us. So Oz Perlman, born in July 19, 1982, also known as Oz the Mentalist, is an American mentalist, author, magician, and long-distance runner of marathons and ultramarathons. He is best known for major media appearances, performing mentalism for sports teams, including the Dallas Cowboys, New York Jets, Green Bay Packers, and the Los Angeles Lakers. Oz is Zion in Oz. Just as the theater kicked off, a mentalist performs the black magic hidden in plain sight. The entire movie, The Wizard of Oz, is about alchemy and Kabbalah. Oz also reveals another word behind the one on the first sheet of the pad as the distraction of the alleged firing kicked off. Remember, this is a stage magician. And like Uri Geller, I would suggest he is a Mossad agent. The Wizard of Oz movie is based on the notion of going over the Noahide rainbow into the new golden age of Saturn, pot of gold. This is all Kabbalah and inverted alchemy. It is a stage show, and Trump might not know the script in its entirety either. Well, I thought this is very, very interesting to know. And again, those ties to Israel is always kind of interesting to see. Not saying, we know anything really, but it is interesting to see. So I thought I'm going to show it to you. And it is also funny to see that we have Reddit Lies being very, very certain that all of this probably is a real thing. And he's wondering, why are people tripping out and having a psychosis? This collective psychosis, trying to think that this whole thing might be staged, man. So accounts and the media being used again to definitely protect some kind of narrative in a way, try to force people to believe how things are. Because we can all question what is going on every single time something happens. And this is how it should be. People just asking questions. Whatever the question is, there is no such thing as a stupid question. Every question is legitimate. So I wonder why they are so sure about that this is this mass psychosis event unfolding on Reddit right now. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, all of this is very, very weird, if you ask me. And I'm not really sure what to make of it. So it is very, very interesting for me to see all of this happening right now during the times that we are on the verge of getting hopefully some kind of information about alien disclosure. Also with a movie from Steven Spielberg, Disclosure Day, coming up in the future. And again, as I said, those scientists always been connected to some kind of propulsion, plasma research, whatever thing. It is something that is coming more and repeatedly coming into the news for some reason. And I really wonder if there's connection between all those things and if we might get an answer at some point where we're all like, wow, this is actually why things happened or, supposedly happened to bring us to the point where we're at. Maybe it's about revealing some kind of technology. Maybe this is a whole different story that was unfolding now, because I'm wondering, why would they distract us with this story now? From what are they really distracting us? Because of course things are happening in the background that we don't really see. So if you have any idea what could be the thing, leave it in the comments, man. I will read every single one of the comments, and I really hope you got something out of the video. And if you did, please hit the like button. And in case you didn't, hit the subscription button, and this will help me a ton to grow the channel and give people the possibility to look for it as well, man. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I thought this was super interesting, man. We are living in crazy times. I'm gonna see you on the next one, and I really, really appreciate you spending your time with me on the weekend. So I hope you're gonna have a good day with your loved ones. Until then, guys, I'm out of here. Ciao, ciao.